Buckle up and get ready for a roller coaster ride of some tasteless humor, lots of heart, and radical truth with two scrappy chicks. Because adulting is hard, but we are thinking that laughing about it is just so much easier.
Sounds good.
All right. Hey, welcome back. Hope everyone had a good fourth. And speaking of the fourth, chame. The neighbors on the other cul-de-sac, they had huge ones. I mean, I get it with the little ones, okay, that are legal, but these were definitely not legal and they
You
were
mean
loud.
fireworks, right?
Huh?
You mean fireworks, right?
Yeah. And they were loud and the Dexter, like last year, he went into the laundry room was shaking. Um this time he made sure he stayed in the main bedroom, and I think they didn't hear it as much being in there. And I put a blanket over him, and I don't think he was shaking as bad as he was last year. And then I also gave him these calming chews. So that seemed to help. Now, I didn't realize, now this is the puppy's first 4th of July, and like during thunderstorms and that, those are loud booms that shake the house, right? And she didn't seem, too bothered by it, but the fireworks, oh my God, she went running and hiding under the bed in the main bedroom. And even like when she woke
Oh,
up yesterday, she was still like walking around, like looking around, like really paranoid.
skin of shame.
So I felt bad for her. So I was just getting sick of it because it was one after the other. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to set off my car alarm. Probably going to piss off the rest of the neighbors, but make it seem like their boom set it off. And you know what?
Yeah,
They
it
stopped.
worked.
Yeah. So I apologize
I'm
to
kind
my
of surprised nobody
neighbors.
called the authorities on them too.
Well, I was in my pajamas, teeth out and everything, and I was ready to get in the car and go drive over there and be like, hey, enough, unless you want to pay for my, vet bills for the two dogs, scared. And I mean, everybody seems to have dogs around here. I see people all the time walking with dogs. So, um, and then the smoke, you could see the smoke coming, and that's what gave it away where it was coming from. And then,
Yeah,
of course,
right,
seeing it.
right.
So yeah. So, I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I understand it's a holiday, da da da, but it is illegal in our state. And I'm sorry, I just don't trust people. Those
Yeah,
aren't
exactly.
those big ones aren't meant to be doing in a subdivision. You could really cause damage to people's houses.
Yeah,
Why do you think the professionals do it in an open area?
yeah, right.
That's my
And I can
concern.
tell you, yeah, and I can tell you from an insurance perspective how hard it is to get people insured who set off fireworks, by the way. So highly dangerous
Mm.
activity, whether it's professional or pleasure.
Well, speaking of that, how about those two that climbed the was the Empire State Building in New York? And that's what they do. They do this stuff and they have a Netflix special. So I can only imagine that they can't, are they insurable? Life insurance wise?
Oh, people who do stuff like that, oh gosh, when you look at, I mean, I'm sure anybody can be insured. It just depends on the kind of policy. Because people who standard life insurance, no, because they will specifically spell out high risk activities that are not allowed. Like skydiving and probably climbing a skyscraper would probably rank up at the top. But there are high risk policies I'm sure that are available to people who do those types of whether it's extreme sporting or extreme hobbying. And here's the thing with them, climbing a public structure or even corporately owned structure, because I would assume that structure is owned by a corporation or some kind of company. They are insured. And I'm sure that part of their insurance, general liability, I'd be interested to see what kind of policy they have because it's kind of like having a pool, in your backyard. They call it an attractive nuisance. It's a problem just because it exists, because it's there, and people see it and they want to climb it or they want to dive into the pool, right? So that's why it's a problem with insurance companies too, because they know people are what, Ginger? People are stupid. Okay. People don't think about the consequences of their very dangerous, ill-prepared actions, and someone's always got to pay the price for that. So, and insurance companies are usually there. But yeah, I would think that would be probably an excluded activity, just off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, and here's another thing, trampolines. And if you don't secure them,
Yep.
you see that oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, can they be like airborne?
Launched, right?
Oh, and here's something sad I just read. There's not too far from here is a campground. I don't know if it's Yogi anymore. And I just read, and it's weird. One of my Facebook friends happened to know this person, but those storms that came through yesterday, she was in a camper and a tree fell on the camper and she died.
Oh no,
And
you're kidding.
no, and it's horrible. And I'm
Oh,
just like, God, I remember going to Indiana Beach with the kids and the donor in a pop-up, and we had the dog. We just had Barney, the shepherd. And a freaking storm came through, and you know how you have those awnings that come out? And he
yes.
didn't retract it, and thank God it was okay. But I mean, it was pretty bad. And I'm thinking that was stupid to stay in that when we should have went into the bathrooms, which was a solid
Yeah.
building.
Right, right.
So yeah, so if you're camping and a storm's coming, I would like obviously
Yeah.
they
Get
got
into a solid structure. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So okay, well, that took us places.
Exactly.
Um, so real quick, I went to the health food store here in town. It's called Body and Soul, and new owners. They are really lovely. And uh I got a couple supplements because of the freaking lovely menopause and the sleeping. And then I noticed she gave me some samples, and I was like, oh, cool. And I know one of the samples she said really worked for her mother-in-law. I'm like, okay. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh, it helps with sleeping. Okay, I'm gonna take it. And I was like, oh my God, I only got up once to pee. None of this sleep 2 hours, get up, sleep 2 hours, get up. And then in fact I need to go to bed earlier when I take this because I slept in till 9 yesterday. And that's not normal of me. Normally I get up about 7:30 or earlier. So when I go to bed, I need to take it earlier. But did not give me no crazy dreams. In fact, I don't even remember if I did dream or not. So yeah, this I did get another supplement for sleeping, but I'm gonna take that back and exchange it for the it's called Anxiocalm. And yeah, I'm just and with these storms that came through, um, they were really it was crazy how fast those clouds were booking. Like it was dark and then the clouds were booking and then came the wind and the rain. And normally, I get triggered by the wind, right? I did not like get kind of fearful like I usually do. I was just like, okay. And then
Do you think it's
just,
because of that supplement?
I think so, because it helps with that too.
There you go.
Because,
We have a winner.
like I said, we were not too far from that campground and, the tree came down. So, and we were under a warning for like 45 minutes, but there was no sirens. But yeah, I was just like, oh wow, this is amazing. So I'm like, yeah, I gotta go back and get some. I have not tried the menopause stuff yet, but I will report back when I go on it. But I'm also doing a 14-day whole food challenge with the health food store. So
Very
wish
good.
me luck.
Good
I
luck.
don't, did I share with you like the list of yes foods and no foods? Which I mean, I know you know what no foods are. You know the difference between a whole food and not.
Right. Correct.
So we'll see what happens to me. And then the same place, I'll be back there Wednesday because a neuropath will be there with questions and stuff. So that will be fun. Maybe we can do an interview with her.
Yeah.
And she happens to be in the same office as my chiropractor. So I was like, oh wow, cool. So and the back, um, it seems like on the days I don't work, it's okay. But the days I work, I come home and I'm just like, oh my God, I gotta ice my back. So I gotta figure
Yeah,
out,
I know what that's like. Yeah,
is
I
it the
know.
lifting? Is it the bending? What?
It's your fascia.
Yeah, I know. The block therapy that you keep telling me to do.
I know. It's amazing. I tell everybody.
Yeah. So you want to talk about your
I can tell
exciting
how
fourth?
excited you are about it. So, anyway, did you want to do the chame?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did.
That's what I
Okay. About
started
the
out with.
country?
Huh?
Okay.
Oh, I chain about the fireworks, but I didn't chain about the people, hating
Right.
the country.
Right.
You want to? I already posted on my Facebook that I was salty
Okay.
and
I'll,
posted
I'll
about
dig
that.
in.
So,
I'll dig
huh?
in.
What?
I'll dig in on this one then.
Okay, go ahead.
So it's our country's 250th, and you either love this country or you don't. And in my personal humble opinion, if you don't love a country, that you're free to leave. Our country was founded, and Ginger knows that I have my issues with this country too. On the same token, this is where I live. This is where I was born. This is where my ancestors came to flee what? Communism. And it's been rearing its ugly head in this country for too long. And everyone's making it a political thing that we should be hating the people that are voted in and or each other. And what's really bad is that social media has been weaponized and toxified to such an extent that truly nobody cares how much you say you hate whoever is in charge or how much you hate your neighbor because of what that person or people are saying. It's never been about left or right or even red or blue. It's about us, the American people, who are here, who actually are citizens, that our democratic republic, our constitution protects. And that's what our ancestors came here for. That's what they fought and died for. And that's why we're here every day working to build this country better for ourselves. But it's been pilfered. We've been robbed and looted and infiltrated by people, call them whatever you will. I mean, it's just been a problem because they're making us, the American people, fight against each other by bringing in outside people that have clearly said that they hate our country. I'm not understanding the disconnect. And then people that say that they're American citizens and how much they, hate the leadership or hate their country, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, and you're even entitled to vent your opinion. People don't want to see it 24/7 online. It's not the place for it. It used to be a time, before everyone thought it was okay to share every minute detail about their lives online, especially when they are so full of vitriol for either a person, a group, or just what's happening in the country. It's like you're either going to be part of the problem or you're going to be part of the solution. If you're going to just sit there and scream and yell about how much you hate the country, then hey, you don't have to stay here. There are many other countries that feel exactly the same way. And that's why people who hate our country should not be here. People who hate Ireland should not be in Ireland. People who hate Italy should not be in Italy. Like, why are we having to make this an actual statement? People who hate Greece should not be in Greece. If you hate something, why are you there? And you're going to say, or people could say, well, this is where I live. And okay, then embrace the country and all its flaws, all its wrinkles, all its warts. Nothing is perfect, but this is everyone's best shot. And that's why everybody wants to be here, is because of our freedoms and liberties. But those have been getting stripped away bit by bit, brick by brick. And unfortunately, there are too many people who are feeding into propaganda that we should all hate each other. I'm not going to hate somebody because someone else tells me I should. Now, when people start screaming and yelling about how much they hate our country and then attack U.S. citizens, okay, yeah, I'm going to have a problem with that. On the same token, you're not going to find me online screaming and yelling and complaining about it. Have I ever made an opinion or said something? Of course I have, because everyone has their limits. On the same token, it's like screaming in the wind. What's the point? You have to work it on yourself. You are going to only find happiness and joy and peace within yourself. You're never going to find that outside of yourself. And if you're going to be online doom scrolling constantly instead of feeding and nourishing your heart and your soul and your mind with people who have good things to say about this country and positive things and solutions to problems that we have, then you're just part of the problem, part of the toxicity, and that's why you're angry and why you're so full of vitriol. I don't want to live that way. I know Ginger doesn't want to live that way. And we love our country. Now, have we always been excited about the leadership? No, but I've never hated my country. I've never, ever had to ever say, I hate my country because of it did this 200 years ago, or it did this 60 years ago, or the country didn't do anything. It was the leadership. So you have to look at the people in general and their policies and their behaviors, and not look at someone who says, hey, I support this person. And you may say, well, I don't support that person. You should be able to sit down and say, hey, I like A, B, C, D, E, F, G that this person did. And I don't like elemental P, Q, R, S, T, U, V that this person did. You should be able to have a debate, a healthy, respectful debate, because us coming together is just the most wonderful thing that could happen. Adults communicating logically and not with your feelings and not about what someone told you. You should hate somebody because they hate you, or you should be angry at somebody because you're being told that, you're being cheated, or we actually are, as a country, being robbed blind because everyone is so focused on the minutia, on the teeny tiny little details. This country is not perfect, but it's a whole far side better than any other country out there. And again, if you really do not like the country that you're in, I don't care what part of the world you're in, then you should seriously consider leaving and find a place that you feel fits your personality, your life goals, and your political views. And here's the thing: your political views should not make you feel like you need to lash out and hurt somebody, whether physically or verbally. You should not ever be that angry about something. Yeah, it's upsetting to see what's happening. And also be able to be logical and say, but I'm not going to allow myself to be drawn down the rabbit hole and chasing after things that I don't even know for 100% are true. Ginger, how many times have we had this conversation? We only know what we see, what we are being told, what's being shown on TV, or what you hear. How are you going to know 100% of what is actually happening and not what's just being put on display as rage bait to get people upset and hating each other and fighting amongst ourselves so that we're not aware of what's actually happening out there? It's not a good idea. We all need to seriously take a beat, take a step back, take a deep breath, and look at how manipulated we can all be and the overwhelm with all the information that's coming at us 24/7. So I love my country. My great-grandparents came here and they fled communism. And here we are again because it's insidious. And anybody who thinks that free, well, where's the free going to come from? I've worked, Ginger, you've worked, our families have worked for generations and worked hard and fought and died for this country. Not for the leadership, because of the freedoms that we are all granted here in this country that is not granted anywhere else, which is why I personally feel why our country has been under such attack lately, especially psychologically, to get us all to hate each other. I want us all to try and, like I said, take a beat and think about the best way forward. And again, don't look outside for validation or approval. You're going to only find happiness and peace within yourself. That's the only place you're going to find it, and where you're going to be able to keep it and hold on to it, not through anybody else and not by anybody else. Don't let anybody, yank you around by your chain, by your emotional chain. It's not worth it. If you're angry every day, then you know that you've fallen victim to the machine, I guess. The only way I can say it. But I support my country, and unfortunately, we have had some pretty bad leadership, and that's at every level, unfortunately. And hopefully, again, I don't know how much is being cleaned up, how much is being taken care of, how much is being rectified or fixed. We won't know until we know. So I can go either way. I'm really not excited about leadership in a lot of areas, and then I have learned or heard about a few things that are pretty exciting, that seem pretty good. I just think we all should not be screaming and yelling and posting about it all the time online. It's not healthy for you, and it's not healthy for the people that are looking at what you're saying. If you really want to do something productive, go to your level of, like your city council, have meetings or whatever, so that you can talk to like-minded people, to think of solutions, to think of ways to help each other, help your community to figure these problems out. That's the only way forward. It really is. And then speaking of that and like coming together as a community, I know this has really been on my mind, and I've been seeing this a lot more too with the flat cameras that, unfortunately,
Can I
everyone's being
interrupt a
surveilled.
second?
Jess, go ahead.
Sorry, before you get on the flat camera, you're familiar with Glenn Beck, right?
Yes.
So he wrote a little something about what he saw when he went to the 250th.
Oh, okay.
But this part I like the most. He wrote, somewhere along the way, we started treating patriotism like a membership card for one political tribe instead of something every American gets to hold. History turned
Right.
controversial. The flag became controversial. Even the birthday turned controversial. That should bother all of us, regardless of who we voted for last November. A country that stops celebrating itself is eventually stops wanting to protect itself.
Very well said, Glenn Beck. Very well said.
Yeah. So he encourages you to go walk the mall and that. So I like this. America is an inheritance. It is a promise made 250 years ago that each generation has to decide on its own whether it's still worth keeping. Learn it, celebrate it, protect it. Because whatever you inherit without gratitude, you don't usually keep for long. Oof.
Right. You don't treat it well. I mean, it's like saying you hate your house and then you trash it, beat the walls in, and then wonder why your life is miserable.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because you trashed your house. Duh. Don't trash your house. Okay. Flat cameras.
Wait,
Been looking
your
into
mama.
this. Your
That's what I
mama.
have to say, your mama.
No. Yeah. Anyway, no, I won't keep beating that drum. I think I've said enough for today on that one. But with the flat cameras, the thing is, it's not even so much that if it really did do what they say it would do in terms of keeping communities safe and, better crime solving and et cetera, an easier communication between the law enforcement agencies to share information to help solve crimes. Well, that's a crock, because there was a woman that was murdered and there were flat cameras everywhere. And do you think anybody was sharing what was on the flat cameras, if that helped or not? No. So that's just number one. But what I wanted to say is, the real problem that's coming out is, of course, the sharing of data, because who has access to the information on these flat cameras? And though there's not a single, public master list of every single law enforcement agency that has access to flat cameras, because access is controlled by each participating agency. So the agencies, they're the ones that decide whether to, own and operate their own flat cameras, share their agencies to search their data, participate in regional or statewide sharing networks, blah, blah, blah. Well, here's the thing. It turns out that this stuff is being shared pretty readily 24/7 with really no guardrails, I think I want to say, because it's local, municipal, town and village, campus, transit police in some jurisdictions, county agencies, sheriff offices, county police departments, state agencies, Department of Public Safety, DPS, state investigative bureaus where those are participating, tribal law enforcement, tribal police departments that participate in the flock network, specialized agencies, airport, port authority, hospital, schools, federal agencies, like take your pick. And unfortunately, I have been reading and hearing more and more that the information that's being asked for about people who are just everyday people. And then, and I hear that too. Well, what are you so worried about? I'm worried about that this has turned into a communist country where every single thing you say or do is being monitored for no reason. We're supposed to be here in this country for the pursuit of happiness. And the large majority of our country, the American citizens born and raised here that work here and strive and grow, raise their families here and, build lives, 99% of this country is wonderful. We're all working super hard and working together. And those are the people that are being investigated every single day. Let me tell you, do you not think that they know, these agencies don't all know who the criminals are, who the bad guys are? Of course they do. They've always known. What about satellites? Do you think that they haven't ever, enabled a satellite to track something or track someone? Or could they? Of course they could. This all stuff is extraneous and it's for other nefarious purposes, in my humble opinion, allegedly, possibly, maybe. But here's the thing. This is what I was talking about. Something upsets you. You want to become involved in your community. There are ways that you can get involved. You can do a FOIA request, by the way, which is a public records access, to find out where all these cameras are in your community, city, state, etc. And then you can, make a list of those and then go to those meetings in those communities and work with other people in other communities and share your concerns with those authority figures, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's the mayor, whether it's the governor. Doesn't matter. At least you are taking steps to make your voice heard, and heard in a way that is going to make you feel a lot better. I mean, is it going to be a frustrating process? Of course. Because as we've heard, Aaron Brockovich has gotten, knee deep in this situation as well, because these corporations, they're billions and billions, and they've got money and time to spend and burn. And yet, we, the American people, we still have to defend our country. We just can't allow these things to happen and defend our communities, because the majority of us are hardworking, law-abiding citizens who love our country, love our communities, and love our neighbor. So I will put a link in there for that as well in our show notes, because I do think it's important to know where you are, how many flat cameras you have to drive by every single day, and what the purpose of that information is, if your information is being collected and you can guarantee that it is. Somewhere, somehow, where is it being stored? Who's looking at it? How's it being utilized? Who's accessing it? How often? All good questions. And these are all questions that you can ask when you go to your meetings. And I wish you all the best with that and all the luck, because this is where this is how we get involved and not feel so angry, so frustrated, so helpless or hopeless. When we take action, we just start feeling better automatically. Don't you think so? That once you start taking action in a problem in your life, you start to feel better. I mean, problem doesn't just vanish overnight, but I do feel like, I know for me, if I start tackling a problem, I'm like, okay, enough stuff with this situation. I don't like how this feels. I don't like the way it's going, and win or lose, I'm going to do my best. And the more action I take, the better I feel.
And I don't like how I walk, So I don't like to see, I have home cameras, and there's a reason why we did it back in 2018. Um, so when I review, you know, the stuff, the camera, um, yeah, I notice I don't like how I walk. So yeah, I'm a little offended. I'm like out there somewhere, probably walking and on the camera. So yeah, at least with me,
Well,
I
they
can
say too,
erase
well,
mine.
well, yeah, but if you're out in public, they say, well, you really don't have any expectation of privacy in public. You kind of do. You don't expect to be tracked everywhere you go, every single person you come in contact with, or every store that you go to, including what you buy and how much you spend. That's excessive. It's excessive. Like I understand there are we've been living with security cameras outside stores and libraries or even at your work or whatever, and people have gotten used to that. I think that this is egregious. It's above and beyond, and it's got to stop. There's really no reason for it. When again they have satellites, which we know they take pictures. What are those, Google Maps or whatever?
Hmm.
Extremely detailed pictures of every little nook and cranny in the street and what the front of your house looks like, including whether or not you've got daisies this year or hydrangeas. So no, I don't believe that we need to have this particular technology to help solve crime. They already have that information. It's called cell phones, cell towers, and satellites, or loons, as I like to call them.
I've
The
heard you
technology
could
is already
blur
there.
out your house on Google.
And then, right, and then you should look into doing that. Try and regain as much autonomy and privacy as you can in a world where it's gone completely, over the edge with this, constant surveillance. And it's insane.
Insane in the membrane. That's a
That's
song.
right.
um,
But and regardless, I mean, we all, you and I both, we do our podcast because we do love our neighbor. We do want to help each other. We want to be here to support each other. Maybe if you hear us talking about things, maybe you'll be prompted to do some kind of a podcast or a blog or something to kind of help people. Because even though there's so much technology, what do you keep hearing about loneliness epidemic? I don't want to hear about it from them. They created that on their own. But I mean, just overall, people just feeling disconnected and lonely. When really all this technology, I thought the whole hard sell for that was you're going to be more connected. You're going to feel more connected. Do you feel more connected
um, today,
on a
no.
personal level? I mean, I know we're connected to every single thing under the sun, but do you feel a personal connection like we did when we were growing up, when you actually were face to face, met people, commiserated with people, sat and talked, or partied, had a good time, went for walks. As kids, we rode our bikes, we got involved in
Hmm.
activities, we went dancing, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had so
Not,
much fun.
not, not like I used to. But the good part about what I do for my work, I like the two people I go clean tomorrow, they'll be home. So I'll probably, chat with them. So at least I'm getting some, you know, um, personalization, some like talking to people.
Yeah, and I know those people appreciate that too. Everyone's tired of talking on text or on a computer
Hmm.
or tablet or whatever.
The in-person connection. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. I can't wait. Can't wait for the cow yoga next week. And hopefully it don't rain and get, you know, canceled and changed to another time.
Right,
Jazz.
exactly. Well, then you got to tell us all about them. I'm going to put that on my list. We want a status on the cow yoga. We can't forget about that.
Yeah. I just hope because I know in the past, like with puppies and goats, like the goats jump on your back. Yeah. Mr. Cow, it would not be advisable to jump on my back.
Maybe they'll be little teeny tiny little baby cows.
Well, I keep seeing on Facebook, I don't know why. It's like you watch one video about animals and then you get a whole ton. Or people
Yeah.
have donkeys and the donkeys use a puppy door. And a donkey once brought his friend a deer in the house. And
Oh,
um and this one donkey is a baby. It's like a miniature donkey. I don't think it's going to get any bigger. But just listening to it just clap, with its hooves around the house is hilarious. And then
yep,
the
yep.
baby cows. And then some people will get pigs and they're supposed to stay small. And then, no surprise, it's a 200-pound pig.
I
So
know.
be careful what you adopt.
Yes.
All right, the time has come. But we have switched over to our new platform, and it seems to be going well. There's downloads already there. Our prior downloads from Buzzsprout do still count, but they're what's the word do they call legacy? So, but I am slowly going through and changing the link for our podcast to Captivate. So, all right. Anything else
Yes.
you want
Come
to
join us
add?
to Captivate. Nope. That's it.
Oh,
That's all
okay.
I got for now.
All right, so keep it simple. Be true to yourself and your style. And see you next time.
See you next time.
We love our scrappy peeps. So thank you all for joining us and becoming part of our flock. So please like, subscribe, and share. And if you don't like us, unfortunately, yo mama. But if you do like us, we look forward to seeing you next time on Two Scrappy Chicks.